Unlock essential data handling skills in this SwiftUI and Swift Data tutorial. Learn how to send emails, import, export, CSV and JSON files. This is the app that we will create in this tutorial. As you can see, at the moment there's no contacts in the list. Swift Data is empty. I will now import a JSON payload that includes some test contacts, that includes the contact's name and email addresses. This is the contact or the JSON payload. List of contacts that we have imported is the one that has the time 2:48 p.m. I'll just click on that. Click on done, and then it should import it into Swift Data and into the application. As you can see, the data has now all been imported into Swift Data. And each contact includes a name and an email address. If we want to contact everyone in our list by email, then we just need to select the Select All switch, or click on the Select All button, And as you can see, all of the contacts have been selected. Or you can select the contacts individually. So if I click on the deselect button, it will deselect all of the contacts. Then if I want to select a contact individually, for example, Anne, Laura, I can just select them individually. And as I select each contact individually, you can see that the selected count increases by 1. We can also edit a contact by swiping to the left and then clicking on the pencil. If I wanted to edit Anna, I can just swipe to the left and then click on the pencil. And then update the name or the email address. If I want to delete a contact, I just repeat the same process and then click on the bin icon. And that will delete the contact from Swift Data and from the JSON payload. Clicking on the next and previous buttons enable the user to move through the Swift Data record set and display the next 10 records, as I will show you. At the moment we're on page 1. So if I click on next, you can see it goes to page 2, page 3, page 4, 5, 6. There's probably about 10 pages. The app also allows the user to filter or search contacts on name or email. So if I wanted to search on, just say Michael, I just type in Michael. And then it displays all of the names. That includes the first 4 characters, MICH, with their email addresses. At the moment, you can see that the record count is, because it's in filtering mode, let's take it out of filtering mode so we can see the actual full record count. And the simulator is just so slow. Yeah, you can see that the record count within Swift Data is 100. So we have 100 contacts in the database, in the mailing application. If I add a new contact to the JSON payload, then update and import the updated file into the application, you will see that the total contacts will be incremented by 1, so it will show 101. So I'll do that now. I'll just edit the JSON file, which is on the desktop. Click on edit. Copy and paste the key value pair. I'll just update it to say my name and my email address. Click on save. And just to show you that it will import the data, I'll search for my name now. And it won't be found because my name or email address doesn't exist in the database. As you can see, nothing's found. I'll now import the data that includes the added contact. And then I'll click on the file that states T58, which is the new payload file that's been imported. As you can see, the new contact has been added to the database. So now our count is 101. I'll type my name in, and then it should filter it. As you can see, my name has been retrieved. The data can also be exported to JSON and CSV file format. So if I click on JSON to export as JSON, it will export it as JSON. It's a bit slow on the simulator. And then I can follow the same procedure to export it as CSV. Each email can include a subject and an email body, as shown in the application, the subject heading. And then the email body. The email body contains a template. The purpose of using the open bracket first name that acts as a placeholder where the actual name of the person is dynamically populated via Swift data and sent via email. So within the within the email body, we just type our text. Are you interested in the product? And then when the email is sent, or when we click on the send email button, the email template will be auto generated to include the person's name and an opt-out email message to stop receiving emails. Emails are sent in batches of 10 to enable better performance. And to show you how an email would be sent, I'll just send one to myself. So I deselect all the other ones first, and then just select one, just to send one to myself. And then just click on send emails. But with this app, you could send like literally thousands and thousands, which would be batched in 10. I'll just click on the send email button there. As you can see, the little notification, the email was sent to my email address. And then at the end, we should see a little alert on the screen. We should see in a few seconds, another alert. Sent batch of 1 email. So this is the tutorial we'll be creating. If you want the full source code and you cannot be bothered to watch the full video, then please remember the source code is available on my Patreon. That helps to support my channel and to purchase new equipment. See the link in the description for more details. And also subscribe if it helped you as well. Welcome to iOS Insights, the channel for iOS app development using SwiftUI and Swift. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials. In this tutorial, we will create the bulk email view model. The bulk email view model is a observable class that manages all the logic for handling contacts and sending bulk emails. It handles loading and storing of contacts, filtering and pagination of contacts, and also it imports files such as JSON and CSV files, and also sends emails within batches. So this is the new model we'll be creating in this tutorial. The first thing we need to do is to create a new Swift file. Name the file bulk email view model. Import the following frameworks. Import SwiftUI, import Swift data, import uniform type identifiers. And the purpose of uniform type identifiers is for handling different file types as mentioned earlier, such as JSON and CSV, which will be used when we're using Bluetooth, such as transferring a file to and from the Mac to back up our mail list or our email list. Next thing we need to add is add the main actor and then add observable to detect any changes within the class. Final class bulk view model or bulk email view model. Then we need to create a few variables. Bar subject, string equals email template dot subject bar message template string equals email template dot message template. The next thing we need to create is a computed property. So the computed property will return the full email body by filling in the template. Email template full body message template. So that's a computed property. We also need to create another variable that's called status message, which is string. And the purpose of this variable is to show the user the current status, such as success and or failure messages. We need another variable called current page, which is an int. That tracks the current page that we're navigating to. And then we need to also create another computed property called search text, which is a string. And we need to use didset. We'll set the current page to 0. We need another variable that's called is importing, which is a boolean. We set it to false. So this flag shows when importing is in progress, such as when we import a JSON payload or a CSV file that includes a list of contacts with the person's name and email, and the imports will be stored or imported into the database, into Swift data. That includes a list of contacts. We need another variable, which is an array of contacts. That will be loaded from the data store. And then we also need model context to enable data manipulation to happen on Swift data, or to happen on the database within Swift data, the data table, such as contacts, so we can update, delete, and retrieve the information. We need to create our initializer, our init method. But for this init method, all we need is the contact. Let me do this again. All we need is the model context, and then we just need to set the model context to the model context, and then call self.contacts, and then to populate our contacts array, we need to create a method called fetchContacts. So it doesn't exist at the moment. This is the method we need to create now. FetchContacts. Function fetchContacts. So fetchContacts will return an array, contact array. Try model context fetch descriptor. So what we're fetching is the data or the information from the contacts class. From the contacts database within Swift data. So if the contact is nil, there's no data in the table, then we just return an empty array. Fetch contact, seems like I spelled it incorrectly. I'll just copy this one and then replace it with line 38. That's it, fetch contact. Oh, there should be an S at the end. Yeah, so that's right now. Compile it. It's compiling at the moment. The next method we need to add is add contact. The purpose of the add contact method, it enables the user to add a new contact to the data table, to the database. Func add contact. So all we're adding is the contact's name, the person's name, and the person's email address, a string. And then we need to make sure that the email address doesn't have any spaces, and also the email address is converted to lowercase. So we need to type the following: let normalize email equals email dot trim characters in, and then so we trim it for white spaces and the new line characters, and then we also convert the email to lowercase. If contacts contains where $0 email but lowercase, and that should be lowercase is equal to normalize email. So what we're doing there, we're checking to make sure that the email in the database, in the contacts table, it doesn't exist. So if it does exist, then we show a little message that is email already exists in the contacts database. To show that message, I think we need to create another method. So the name of the method, we create that after line 51. It's called private func update status message string. Status message equal to comma comma. So we clear the previous status message if one existed, and then we put this one on the thread dispatch queue.main, so it's on the main thread. Sync after. So we want the message to be displayed .01 afterwards. Self status message is equal to message. So now we have to go back to our add contact method and then complete the function. So within our add contact method, we just type the method in that we want to record, update status message. And the message we want to be displayed to the user is email already exists, contact not added. Let's compile it. Oh yeah, we also need to return from this function. So in the event that the email address already exists, we just show that message to the user and then return. So exit this function. Else, although we're not using an else statement, this code block will be executed that will now be programmed to create a new contact within Swift Data. So we just pass in the parameters into Swift Data, which is the name and the email. Since it doesn't exist in the database, we can now add it to Swift Data as a new record to be stored in the database. Insert contact. And then, so that on line 52, yes, the bracket shouldn't be there. Yeah, that's my mistake. And the bracket on lines 55 shouldn't be there neither. So we create I don't know why it isn't there. I don't know why it doesn't like that. Let me type it in again. So that should be contacts. Name, email, normalized email. Let's go to the contacts, see what the problem is. Oh, is it, oh, there shouldn't be a colon here. Should be a comma. And then the email. Let's go to the contacts then. If we're trying to call this initializer, oh, I know what it is there. It should have a default value for what is selected should be assigned to false. Now let's go back. Let's just compile it again. And then, what else do we need to do? Yeah, the next thing that we need to do is create a new method. And this method is called save and refresh. But we will implement that method in the next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials.